Every morning is a silent gift. When the first light touches the edges of the world, it doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It simply arrives, as it has for millennia, indifferent to whether we are ready for it or not. And yet, that quiet arrival is an invitation, a chance to begin again, to take up the day as a craftsman takes up his tools, knowing that the quality of his work will depend on the steadiness of his hands and the clarity of his mind. The Stoic understands this well. The dawn is not merely a backdrop to life, it is the first trial of the day, a test of how one will rise to meet what comes. A Stoic morning is not about rushing headlong into the noise of the world. It is not about reaching for the phone before you've even drawn a full breath. It is about standing still, even if just for a moment, and making a deliberate choice about the kind of person you will be before life's demands start pulling at you. Marcus Aurelius often began his meditations by preparing himself for the kind of people he would meet: the selfish, the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful. These were not complaints, they were reminders. He knew that by expecting them, he would not be shaken when they appeared. The modern Stoic has the same need to anticipate life's frictions so they do not catch us unarmed. Picture it. You wake in the dim stillness before the noise of the world floods your senses. You have not yet checked the headlines, not yet read a single message. You are not yet anyone's employee, friend, partner, or parent. For this brief window, you belong only to yourself, and in this quiet, you speak, not aloud to the world, but inwardly, to the part of yourself that must lead the rest of you through the hours ahead. You do not fill this inner conversation with sugary encouragements or empty platitudes. You speak the truth, sometimes sharp, sometimes comforting, always clear. You speak as a commander to a soldier before battle, or as an old friend who loves you enough to tell you what you do not want to hear. The words you choose in these first moments matter more than most realize. They are not magic charms that bend the universe to your will, but they are the compass that will guide you through the day's storms. A mind left unguided will be pulled by every distraction, provoked by every irritation, trapped by every passing fear. But a mind that begins the day with deliberate reminders has already claimed its ground. Seneca once wrote that while we cannot control the winds, we can adjust our sails. The Stoic morning is the act of adjusting those sails before the voyage begins. In this practice, there is no pretending that everything will go your way. The Stoic does not wake hoping for a day free from challenge. He wakes knowing that challenge is inevitable. And because it is inevitable, it is nothing to fear. The goal is not to arrange the day so that nothing difficult happens, but to arrange yourself so that whatever happens, you remain unshaken. The calm you carry into the day is not a fragile calm that depends on the world being cooperative. It is a calm that grows from the understanding that you can endure and act rightly regardless of the world's behavior. The morning is also a moment to remember who you are and who you wish to be, not in terms of titles or roles, but in terms of virtues. The world will try to make you many things. Impatient, reactive, fearful, but before it can succeed, you have the chance to decide otherwise. You can set your course toward courage, patience, honesty, and discipline. The Stoic knows that identity is not found in what others call you, but in how you choose to act when the pressure rises, and the pressure always comes. This is why the 15 things in this routine are not random affirmations pulled from the air. They are forged from the hard truths the Stoics have always embraced. Some are gentle reminders, others are stern orders. Some will feel like armor, others like medicine. All are meant to prepare you for the day not as you wish it to be, but as it will be. The modern world often sells the idea that morning routines are about optimization. Productivity hacks, mood boosters, little rituals to get ahead. But for the Stoic, The morning is not about getting ahead in the world's race. It is about not being owned by that race in the first place. It is about ensuring that you enter the day as the master of yourself, not as a leaf blown about by every gust of circumstance. When you tell yourself these 15 things, you're not trying to hypnotize yourself into a false sense of security. You're reminding yourself of truths that are often uncomfortable, but liberating once embraced. You remind yourself that nothing is fully yours except your mind and your choices. You remind yourself that fortune will give and take as it pleases, and that your task is not to cling to its gifts, nor to crumble when they are withdrawn. You remind yourself that each moment you are alive is borrowed and cannot be reclaimed once spent. In a way, these reminders are an act of rebellion. In a culture obsessed with constant stimulation and endless pursuit of comfort, stopping to speak plainly to yourself about life's realities is almost radical. You are choosing to step outside the noise, to ground yourself in principles instead of impulses. While others rush into their day, reactive and unprepared, you will have already fortified your mind. This is the silent advantage of the Stoic: preparation, not for perfection, but for reality. Over the next 15 reminders, we will walk backward from the outermost layer of Stoic readiness to the core principle that anchors them all. This reverse order is deliberate. We will start with the reminders that guard you against daily irritations and disappointments, and end with the truth that, once understood, makes all the others fall naturally into place. Each reminder is meant to be brief enough to recall, but deep enough to guide you in a moment of need. The Stoic morning is not a shield that makes the arrows of the day disappear. It is the practice of standing tall while they fly, knowing they cannot touch the part of you that matters most. These reminders are your quiet armor, and once you have spoken them, you can walk into the day ready for whatever shape it takes. The world will not bend for you, but you will be ready to stand unbent before the world. Lesson 15. Today I will meet people who will test my patience. This is where Marcus Aurelius often began his day, with a warning, not a complaint. Today I will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. He did not write these words to cultivate bitterness, but to guard himself against surprise, because the Stoic understands that disappointment is born from unrealistic expectations. If you expect everyone to be wise, kind, and fair, you will be shaken when reality presents you with the opposite. But if you remind yourself from the start that the world is full of imperfect people, yourself included, then their faults will feel less like personal attacks and more like predictable features of human nature. When you tell yourself this in the morning, you are not setting yourself up for a day of hostility. You are simply removing the illusion that everything will go smoothly. This is a subtle but powerful shift. When you expect challenges, you are ready to face them. When you expect perfection, you are ready to be disappointed. The Stoic chooses the first path. People will interrupt you. They will misunderstand you. They will speak out of turn, take credit for things they did not do, or criticize without understanding the full picture. Some will lie to you, others will use you, still others will ignore you entirely. If you wake expecting this, the sting will be lessened, and your mind will be free to focus on what you can control: your response. This does not mean you must tolerate cruelty or injustice without action. The Stoic is not a passive observer of wrongs. Rather, he is an active participant in the correction of them, when that correction is within his power. What he avoids is the waste of energy in being shocked that such wrongs exist in the first place. To be surprised by human weakness is to be a stranger in your own world. The Stoic knows better. There is a kind of peace that comes from this morning reminder. If someone insults you, you do not think, "How could they?" You think, "Of course they could. People have always acted this way." You recall that you yourself have acted from ignorance or anger at times, and so you meet their flaws not with pure condemnation, but with an understanding of their origin. Ignorance is not cured by outrage, and malice is rarely softened by retaliation. The Stoic seeks to act from reason, not reaction. And yet, this lesson is not only about others, it is about you. By reminding yourself that others will test your patience, you are also acknowledging that you will be tested. This makes you aware of your own capacity to fail. The same weaknesses you see in others live in you, waiting for the right trigger. You are not above the faults you notice. You are simply in a moment where they are not active. This awareness can turn arrogance into humility, and humility into vigilance. The morning reminder is like a quiet pact you make with yourself. I will not let the faults of others become my excuse for abandoning my own principles. If someone is dishonest, you will still tell the truth. If someone is rude, you will still speak with respect. If someone acts in anger, you will still act with calm. You are not responsible for their behavior, but you are entirely responsible for your own. Marcus Aurelius wrote that those who do wrong do so out of ignorance of the good. This is not to excuse them, but to recognize that their behavior is not born of pure evil, but of a distorted understanding of what is right. And if they act from ignorance, then you can meet them with pity instead of rage. Your patience does not excuse their actions. It simply keeps you from joining them in their error. In the modern world, this lesson is more relevant than ever. We are surrounded by opportunities for irritation, impatient drivers, careless co-workers, hostile strangers online. Without this morning reminder, each of these small frictions can erode your composure. But if you begin the day expecting them, they lose their power to unbalance you. They become part of the background noise of life, not obstacles to your peace. So when you rise in the morning, tell yourself plainly, today I will meet people who will test my patience. Say it without bitterness, without drama. Say it as a sailor might say, today there will be wind. The wind is neither good nor bad, it is simply part of the voyage. And just as the sailor trims his sails, you will adjust your mind. You will meet these people and you will not be surprised. You will not be undone. You will act according to your principles, because your principles are yours to keep, untouched by the faults of others. This is the first layer of armor in the Stoic morning, not to isolate you from the world, but to prepare you to move through it unshaken. For if you cannot endure the small storms of human behavior, you will be ill-prepared for the greater trials that life will inevitably bring. Lesson 14. The day ahead is not owed to me. The Stoic begins the morning with gratitude not because life is perfect, but because it exists at all. Too many wake as if the day were guaranteed, as if the sun rose because they demanded it. But the truth is far sharper. This day is a gift, not a debt the universe must repay. You are not owed these hours. They are on loan, and the lender may call them back at any moment. When you remind yourself of this in the morning, your perspective shifts. Annoyances lose their power. That small delay in traffic, that inconvenience at work, these cannot truly ruin a day that you recognize as borrowed time. The Stoic is not blind to life's irritations, but he keeps them in proportion. You cannot be deeply wounded by a scratch when you are focused on the miracle of being alive at all. This awareness also brings urgency, not the frantic urgency of someone chasing meaningless goals, but the sober urgency of someone who knows the value of what is passing. Every wasted hour is a treasure carelessly dropped. Seneca warned that life is long if you know how to use it, but short if you squander it on things that don't matter. Remembering that the day is not owed to you makes it harder to throw it away on trivial complaints or idle distractions. There is also humility in this reminder. You are not the center of the world's story. The earth spun before you and will spin long after you. The Stoic accepts this without bitterness, finding comfort in the knowledge that his worth is not tied to how much the world notices him, but to how he lives in the small patch of time he's been given. This does not mean the Stoic wakes in fear that the day might be his last. It means he wakes ready to make it worthy of being his last. When you see the day as a privilege rather than an entitlement, you approach it differently. You listen more attentively, you speak more carefully, you act with more purpose. So when the morning comes, say to yourself, "The day ahead is not owed to me." Let that thought strip away entitlement and replace it with gratitude. Let it remind you that each breath, each step, each conversation is a temporary possession. And because it is temporary, it deserves your full attention and best effort. The Stoic walks into the day not as a master demanding payment, but as a guest who has been given more time at the table. And that is enough. Lesson Sucker 13. I control my mind, not the world. The first temptation of the day is to believe that peace depends on the behavior of others or the order of events. If the world is quiet, you feel calm. If it turns chaotic, you feel disturbed. The Stoic rejects this fragile arrangement. He knows that to hinge your peace on external forces is to hand them the keys to your inner life. When you wake, the truth is simple. The world will not move according to your will. Traffic will not part because you are in a hurry. People will not agree with you because your reasoning is sound. Weather will not change because you have plans. The Stoic faces this not with frustration, but with clarity. The only domain you truly govern is your own mind, your thoughts, judgments, and actions. This is not an excuse for apathy. The Stoic acts in the world, works for justice, builds, repairs, teaches, but he does so without the illusion that the outcome is guaranteed. He focuses on effort, not control, and because of this, he is free from the exhaustion of wrestling with what cannot be changed. This morning reminder is a kind of release. The weight of trying to rearrange reality falls from your shoulders. You do not need the day to obey you to live well within it. When something goes wrong, your first question is not why me, but how can I meet this well? This is the core of Stoic freedom. You do not choose the events, but you choose the response. Epictetus taught that some things are up to us and others are not. Confusing the two is the root of misery. Each morning, the Stoic sharpens this distinction in his mind. He sets his aim on what is his to command, his will, his discipline, his reason, and accepts the rest as it comes. To control your mind is not to suppress feeling, but to guide it. Anger may rise, fear may whisper, disappointment may knock, but you decide whether to let them take the throne or keep them as visitors. The Stoic knows that emotions are not dictators. They are signals. You can listen without obeying. So tell yourself each morning, I control my mind, not the world. It will not make the day's challenges vanish, but it will make you stronger than they are. It will remind you that your peace is yours to keep if you choose to guard it. And when the world inevitably shows its chaos, you will stand in the quiet center, unmoved. Lesson 12. Obstacles are teachers, not enemies. The first reaction to difficulty is often resistance. We see a problem and label it as an intruder, something that has stolen our peace. But the Stoic reverses this instinct. To him, obstacles are not thieves, they are instructors. They do not take away your path, they become your path. When you wake and remind yourself of this, you disarm much of life's sting. You no longer meet challenges with, why is this happening to me, but with, what is this here to teach me? This shift does not remove hardship, but it transforms your relationship to it. An obstacle ceases to be a wall and becomes a weight, something you can lift to grow stronger. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not poetic optimism, it is a practical strategy. Life will not stop placing barriers before you. Some will be small, a delayed appointment, a missed opportunity. Others will be large, a loss, a betrayal, a sudden illness. You cannot control when they appear, but you can decide whether they leave you weaker or wiser. In this morning reminder, you commit to approaching each obstacle as a lesson. It might teach patience, forcing you to slow down when your instinct is to rush. It might teach humility, showing you that you are not as invincible as you believed. It might teach creativity, pushing you to find solutions you would never have considered without the pressure. This is not to glorify suffering. Pain is real, and the Stoic does not deny it. But he also refuses to let pain be meaningless. If life delivers hardship, he will wrestle from it every ounce of growth it contains. To waste suffering by learning nothing from it is a second loss, worse than the first. In the modern world, obstacles often come disguised as inconveniences. It is easy to miss their value. The traffic jam that forces you to wait, the failed project that bruises your pride, the criticism that stings more than you expected. These are all lessons if you allow them to be. They remind you that you are not fully in control, but that you are always in control of your response. So when the day begins, say to yourself, obstacles are teachers, not enemies. Let that truth settle in your mind before the first difficulty arrives. When it does, you will recognize it, not as an insult from the universe, but as a stern, silent mentor. And like all great teachers, it will demand much of you but leave you stronger than before. Lesson number 11. My worth is measured by my actions, not by opinions. The modern world tempts us to weigh ourselves on the scales of other people's approval. A compliment feels like a victory, a criticism feels like a wound. Social media, workplace reviews, casual remarks from friends, all can shape how we see ourselves if we let them. The Stoic refuses this fragile dependence. His worth is not determined by the shifting judgments of the crowd, but by the steady measure of his own actions and character. When you wake and remind yourself of this, you begin the day anchored in something unshakable. Praise may come, but you will not be intoxicated by it. Criticism may come, but you will not be crushed. The opinions of others are not ignored, but they are not your master. You hear them, weigh their truth and decide whether to act on them, but you do not live or die by them. This does not mean the Stoic is arrogant or closed to feedback. On the contrary, he welcomes correction because he seeks truth above ego. But he knows the difference between valuable counsel and empty noise. The former shapes him, the latter passes through him like wind through open hands. Your actions are the true mirror of your worth. Did you live with honesty today? Did you meet difficulty with courage? Did you act with kindness even when there was nothing to gain? These are the measures that endure. A crowd may cheer you for something unworthy or despise you for something noble. Only your own reasoned judgment, aligned with virtue, can tell you whether you stand tall or have fallen short. The morning reminder, my worth is measured by my actions, not by opinions, is a shield against both vanity and despair. Vanity, when others praise you for things that don't truly matter. Despair, when others misunderstand or disapprove of what is right. It keeps you steady when the winds of public favor change, as they always do. Marcus Aurelius advised himself to do what is right, not what is popular. The applause of the crowd fades quickly, and the same mouths that praise you today may condemn you tomorrow. The Stoic does not anchor his identity in such unstable ground. His anchor is in his own choices, choices guided by reason, justice, and integrity. So when the day begins, hold this thought. You are not here to win universal approval. You are here to live well. If you do that, then whether the world cheers or boos is irrelevant. You will have acted according to your principles, and that is the only audience that matters. Lesson 10. I am prepared to lose everything external. The Stoic begins the day aware that everything outside the boundaries of his mind is borrowed. Health, possessions, relationships, status, none are truly his in the permanent sense. They are gifts from fortune, and fortune takes back what it gives without warning. To live as if these things were eternal is to set yourself up for devastation when they are gone. This is not a cold detachment, nor is it ingratitude. It is clarity. When you remind yourself in the morning, I am prepared to lose everything external, you do not diminish your love for these things. You deepen it. You enjoy them without clinging. You appreciate them without mistaking them for your identity. You understand that their value lies precisely in their fragility. Marcus Aurelius urged himself to see his child in the morning and silently remind himself, she may not live to nightfall. Not because he loved her less, but because this thought sharpened his love. It cut away the illusion that tomorrow was guaranteed and brought him fully into the present. The Stoic's acceptance of impermanence is what allows him to cherish without fear. This reminder also prepares you for loss when it inevitably comes. The sudden illness, the unexpected betrayal, the natural disaster. These are not unfair in the cosmic sense. They are part of the nature of things. The Stoic is not immune to grief, but his grief is free of shock. He mourns without collapsing, because he knew all along that nothing external was truly his to keep. In the modern world, this thought can feel almost offensive. We are told to secure, to protect, to ensure every part of life. And while prudence is wise, attachment disguised as security is a trap. No contract can guarantee what life will allow you to hold. The Stoic security comes not from the permanence of possessions or circumstances, but from the resilience of his own mind. So when you rise, say to yourself, I am prepared to lose everything external. Let it sound heavy in your chest. Let it strip away the illusion that you are safe, because things look stable today. And then, having accepted this, go out and live, not in fear of loss, but in gratitude for what is still here. Eat with joy, speak with kindness, work with integrity, because none of it is owed to you beyond this moment. The Stoic's strength is not in holding tightly to what he has, but in standing tall when it slips from his hands. Lesson number 9. My time is my most precious resource. Each morning, the Stoic wakes knowing that time is slipping through his fingers. Unlike wealth, it cannot be earned back. Unlike possessions, it cannot be replaced. Once a moment is gone, it is gone forever. Seneca warned that people guard their money fiercely, yet squander their time as if it were infinite. To the Stoic, this is madness. When you remind yourself in the morning, my time is my most precious resource, you are sharpening your awareness of what truly matters. You begin to see every interaction, every task, every distraction in a new light. Some things deserve your hours, many do not. The Stoic is not a miser of time, but he spends it deliberately, knowing that each choice is a small piece of his life traded away. This awareness changes how you respond to the world. You become less willing to engage in petty arguments, less drawn into gossip, less tolerant of meaningless busyness. You start asking yourself before you commit, is this worth part of my life? Sometimes the answer is yes, because the moment holds love, beauty, or service. Sometimes the answer is no, because it serves nothing but vanity or habit. Modern life is full of thieves of time, endless scrolling, shallow conversations, chasing the approval of strangers. These drain your hours quietly without you noticing. The Stoic morning reminder is like locking your door before leaving home. It guards your most valuable possession from careless loss. There is also an urgency in this truth. The Stoic does not postpone living for a distant future because he knows the future is not promised. He does not say, I will rest when things are perfect, or I will live fully when I retire. He knows that waiting for the right moment is a way of letting life pass unused. Each morning is a reminder that today is part of the only life you have. By valuing your time, you also value the time of others. You speak with intention, you listen fully, and you avoid wasting their hours as you avoid wasting your own. This is not cold efficiency, it is respect. So when you rise, say it plainly, "My time is my most precious resource." Feel the weight of the words. Let them strip away trivialities. Let them push you toward what is worth doing and away from what is not. And at the end of the day, you will have spent your hours in a way that leaves you lighter, not burdened with regret. Lesson number 8. I will not be ruled by desire or fear. Two forces pull at the human mind more than any others: the longing for what we do not have and the dread of what we might lose. Desire pushes us forward restlessly. Fear pulls us back in hesitation. Together, they keep us from standing firmly in the present. The Stoic seeks freedom from both, not by erasing them entirely, but by refusing to be ruled by them. When you tell yourself in the morning, "I will not be ruled by desire or fear," you are setting boundaries for the day ahead. Desire will come, an urge for recognition, comfort, or pleasure. Fear will come, of rejection, of pain, of uncertainty. You do not deny their presence, you simply refuse them, the driver's seat. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that many things we chase bring little real value once obtained, and many things we fear turn out to be harmless once faced. The Stoic learns to test his impulses. He asks, "If I get this, will it truly make me better? And if this happens, will it truly destroy me?" Most of the time, the honest answer is no. By resisting desire, you avoid becoming a servant to endless appetite. You enjoy what you have without being consumed by what you lack. By resisting fear, you step into action even when the outcome is uncertain. You live according to principle, not according to the shifting winds of comfort and anxiety. In the modern world, desire is constantly fed. Advertisements, social comparisons, curated images of perfect lives. Fear is equally nourished. Sensational headlines, worst-case scenarios, reminders of everything that could go wrong. Without a conscious decision each morning, you will be pulled back and forth until you are too exhausted to choose your own path. The Stoics' refusal to be ruled by desire or fear is not a rejection of joy or caution. It is a refusal to let either become a master. Joy is welcomed when it comes, but it is not chased desperately. Caution is respected when it is wise, but it does not paralyze. The mind remains steady, free to choose the right action, regardless of temptation or threat. So each morning, speak the words, "I will not be ruled by desire or fear." Carry them with you as armor. When a tempting shortcut appears, you will measure it against your principles. When an intimidating challenge arises, you will measure it against your capacity to endure. And in both cases, you will find yourself walking forward with steady steps, untouched by the chains that bind so many. Lesson number 7. I will speak less and listen more. The Stoics valued words, but only when they served truth and virtue. They warned against wasting speech on gossip, boasting, or idle chatter, for such talk consumes time and often stirs unnecessary trouble. To speak less is not to retreat from the world, but to engage with it more wisely. When you begin your day with the reminder, "I will speak less and listen more," you are not promising silence for its own sake. You are choosing intention. Every word you speak will have purpose. Every moment you remain quiet will be an opportunity to observe, to understand, and to think before acting. Seneca wrote that it is better to be silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. The Stoic does not seek to impress with clever phrases or dominate conversations. He seeks to learn, to understand, and to speak only when what he says will improve the silence. Listening more is not simply hearing the words of others, it is giving full attention without the constant urge to interrupt or respond. It means setting aside your own internal script long enough to truly absorb what is being said. The Stoic listens not only to people but to the world, to the tone beneath the words, to the patterns of events, to the lessons hidden in the day's small occurrences. In the modern age, where speaking quickly and often is celebrated, this approach can feel unnatural. Social media rewards constant output. Workplace culture often equates speaking up with leadership, yet the Stoic knows that wisdom grows in the pauses between speech. By speaking less, you give yourself room to think. By listening more, you give yourself the raw material to think wisely. This habit also guards against anger and misunderstanding. Many conflicts grow from words spoken too soon, too sharply, or without full understanding of the situation. By holding back, the Stoic creates a space where emotion can cool and reason can guide the response. So each morning, tell yourself, I will speak less and listen more. Let that guide you through conversations, debates, and moments of tension. You will find that you lose nothing by speaking less, and you gain much in clarity, in understanding, and in peace of mind. For when words are chosen with care, they have greater weight, and when silence is chosen with purpose, it speaks volumes. Lesson number 6. I will act according to my principles, not my moods. Moods are shifting weather. Principles are the mountains that stand beneath them. A clear morning can turn stormy by noon. In the same way, you may wake feeling calm and patient, only to be met with frustration and anger before the day has barely begun. If you live by mood, you will be pulled in every direction. If you live by principle, you remain steady, regardless of how you feel in a given moment. When you say to yourself each morning, I will act according to my principles, not my moods, you are making a quiet but powerful contract. You are telling yourself that the standard for your behavior will not be your temporary emotional state, but the values you have chosen deliberately: honesty, patience, courage, discipline, justice. Marcus Aurelius wrote that it is possible to be injured in body and yet remain uninjured in soul. The same is true for emotions. You may feel irritation, fear, or sadness without letting them dictate your actions. The Stoic acknowledges the feeling but refuses to let it become the captain of the ship. This is not about suppressing emotion. It is about recognizing that emotion is a visitor, not a ruler. You can feel anger and still choose to speak with respect. You can feel fear and still choose to act with courage. You can feel sadness and still choose to do your duty. Each time you choose principle over mood, you strengthen your inner freedom. In the modern world, this is more important than ever. We are constantly told to follow how we feel, but feelings, while valid, are not always wise guides. They are shaped by fatigue, hunger, stress, and countless other factors outside our control. Principles, on the other hand, are chosen and reaffirmed intentionally. They are the compass you return to when the emotional waves are high. This morning, reminder becomes especially valuable in conflict. If you let your moods decide your words, you risk speaking in ways that cannot be taken back. But if you let your principles decide, you preserve your integrity even when provoked. So when you rise, tell yourself, I will act according to my principles, not my moods. Let this guide your choices in moments both small and large. Your feelings may shift, but your actions will remain aligned with the person you have committed to being. And when the day ends, you will have the rare satisfaction of knowing you did not betray your own standards, no matter how the winds blew. Lesson number 5. I will not waste energy on what I cannot control. One of the central pillars of Stoic thought is the division between what is within our control and what is not. Epictetus taught that the path to peace begins with this distinction. Yet in daily life, people pour their strength into worrying about weather, politics, other people's opinions, and countless other forces entirely beyond their command. This constant battle with the uncontrollable drains energy that could be used where it matters. When you begin your day with the reminder, "I will not waste energy on what I cannot control," you are setting a boundary in your own mind. You acknowledge that your attention and strength are finite, and you refuse to spend them in a losing fight against reality. This is not an excuse for passivity. The Stoic works with full effort where he does have influence, his own actions, choices, and judgments, but he does not chain his well-being to whether fortune favors his efforts. He plants seeds, knowing he cannot command the rain. In the modern world, distractions are endless. A single morning scroll through the news can deliver a dozen reasons to feel outrage or despair about matters too vast for you to change directly. Without this reminder, you may carry that frustration through the day, snapping at loved ones or neglecting the work that is within your reach. By consciously letting go of the uncontrollable, you preserve your focus for what you can shape. This principle also applies to personal relationships. You cannot control whether someone appreciates you, understands you, or treats you as you wish. You can control whether you act with integrity toward them. This subtle shift in focus frees you from the exhausting task of managing other people's behavior. By refusing to waste energy on the uncontrollable, you create space for peace. You are no longer yanked about by the rise and fall of events you can't command. Instead, you respond with calm, adjusting to what comes without resentment. So when you rise, speak clearly. "I will not waste energy on what I cannot control." Let those words become your filter throughout the day. When a problem arises, pass it through this filter. Can I act upon this directly? If yes, act with focus. If no, let it pass without stealing more of your strength. The Stoic's energy is not infinite, but it is powerful when directed wisely. By protecting it from the pull of the uncontrollable, you ensure it is spent on what truly matters, and that more than anything shapes the quality of your days. Lesson number 4. I will face discomfort willingly. Most people move through life avoiding discomfort at all costs, choosing the easy path, the softer option, the familiar routine. But the Stoic understands that growth and strength are born in discomfort. To avoid it completely is to avoid becoming the person you could be. When you begin your day with the reminder, "I will face discomfort willingly," you are choosing the harder road with open eyes. You are not chasing pain for its own sake, but accepting that temporary discomfort is often the price of lasting virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote that what is good for the bee is good for the hive, and what is good for the hive requires work. And work is not always pleasant. The Stoic trains his mind to step into cold waters rather than endlessly dip a toe. This might mean having the difficult conversation instead of postponing it, pushing through a task you dislike but that needs doing, or resisting the urge to take the easier but less honorable route. Modern life offers constant opportunities to hide from discomfort. We can avoid confrontation through screens, skip effort with automation, or numb frustration with entertainment. Yet the very muscles, mental and physical, that allow us to endure hardship weaken when unused. Choosing discomfort, even in small doses, is how the Stoic keeps those muscles strong. This willingness also changes your relationship with fear. Often, what we fear most is not the event itself, but the discomfort it might bring. Embarrassment, fatigue, uncertainty. When you train yourself to endure discomfort, fear loses much of its hold on you. The thought of hardship becomes less terrifying when you have met hardship before and remain standing. The Stoic does not glamorize suffering. He simply refuses to be ruled by the avoidance of it. Each morning, he tells himself that he will accept the day's challenges without complaint, knowing that every difficulty faced is a chance to sharpen his character. So when you rise, say, "I will face discomfort willingly." Step into the day prepared to lean into effort, to choose the task that stretches you, to hold steady in the presence of unease. Because the comfort you gain by avoiding discomfort is shallow and temporary, while the strength you build by embracing it is deep and enduring. Lesson 3. I will live today as if it were my last. The Stoic does not postpone living for a future that may never arrive. He understands, with a clarity most avoid, that life is always one breath away from ending. To live today as if it were your last is not a call to reckless indulgence. It is a call to deliberate living. When you tell yourself in the morning, "I will live today as if it were my last," you are reminding yourself that the hours ahead are not part of an endless supply. They are rare, finite, and non-renewable. You cannot store them for later. You cannot exchange them for more. They are here now, and soon they will be gone. Seneca warned against the arrogance of assuming that we will live long. He wrote that life is long enough if we use it well, but most people waste it in hesitation and distraction. The Stoic aims to spend the day with purpose, knowing that each action, each word, each thought could be the final entry in the story of his life. This awareness changes how you treat both yourself and others. Petty arguments seem smaller. Acts of kindness seem more urgent. The temptation to delay important decisions until the right time fades, because you see clearly that the right time is now. Living as if today were your last does not mean abandoning responsibilities or chasing pleasure blindly. It means aligning your actions with your values without delay. If courage is important to you, show it today. If honesty is essential, speak it today. If love matters, express it today. You act not because tomorrow is certain, but because it isn't. The modern world teaches us to plan endlessly for the future, yet it rarely teaches us to live fully in the present. The Stoic balances both. He prepares for tomorrow, but he does not sacrifice today to a tomorrow that may never come. So when you rise, say, "I will live today as if it were my last." Let this strip away procrastination and half-hearted effort. Let it remind you that the clock is not a background noise, but a constant call to act. And when night falls, you will be able to look back without regret, knowing you did not waste the day waiting for life to begin. Lesson number 2. Gratitude is my starting point. The Stoic begins the day not by listing what is missing, but by recognizing what is already here. Gratitude is not a sentimental luxury, it is a discipline. It requires a deliberate turning of the mind away from complaint and toward appreciation, even in the midst of imperfection. When you tell yourself in the morning, "Gratitude is my starting point," you set the tone for everything that follows. The mind that begins with gratitude is harder to shake with minor irritations. The frustrations of the day still come, but they are filtered through an awareness of how much could be worse and how much is already good. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that he had woken up at all, that he was alive, breathing, and capable of action. To the Stoic, this alone is cause for thanks. Life itself is a loan from nature, and each day granted is a day unearned. Gratitude also sharpens your perception. You begin to notice the small blessings that usually pass unnoticed. The warmth of the morning sun, the voice of someone you love, the simple act of having food to eat. These are not trivial. They are the foundation of a life well lived. In the modern world, comparison constantly threatens gratitude. We are shown curated images of others' lives and told subtly or directly that we are lacking. Gratitude pushes back against this by shifting the question from "what am I missing?" to "what have I already been given?" This does not mean the Stoic ignores hardship or pretends everything is perfect. Gratitude and struggle coexist. You can acknowledge pain while still acknowledging gifts. In fact, gratitude often becomes most powerful when life is difficult. It reminds you that even in the darkest times, not everything has been taken. By starting with gratitude, you prepare yourself to act with generosity. When you feel full, you are less inclined to grasp selfishly at more. When you feel thankful, you are more inclined to share. The Stoic knows that a grateful heart is a calmer heart, and a calmer heart makes clearer choices. So when you rise, before you think of what needs fixing or earning, say, "Gratitude is my starting point." Let it guide your first thoughts, your first words, your first actions, and carry it forward into the day as a reminder that you are already standing on solid ground, even as you strive for more. Lesson number 1. I alone am responsible for my soul. At the core of Stoic thought lies one unshakable truth. No one else can live your life for you. Others may guide, teach, or inspire, but the state of your soul, your character, your inner judgment, your moral compass is entirely in your hands. When you wake and remind yourself, "I alone am responsible for my soul," you take full ownership of your life. You refuse to blame fortune, circumstances, or other people for the person you choose to be. The Stoic accepts that while the world shapes the conditions of his life, it cannot dictate his inner response unless he allows it. Marcus Aurelius warned against wasting time arguing about what a good person should be. Instead, he urged us to be that person. This means making choices each day that align with virtue, justice, courage, wisdom, temperance, regardless of how others behave. Your soul's condition is not measured by the fairness of the world around you, but by your own adherence to these principles. This reminder frees you from waiting for external permission to live well. You do not need ideal conditions to act with integrity. You do not need universal approval to speak the truth. You do not need perfect circumstances to be patient, kind, or disciplined. The responsibility is yours, and so is the power. It also removes the false comfort of blame. If your peace is shattered, it is not because someone made you angry or anxious. It is because you gave them that power. If your actions fall short, it is not because life is unfair. It is because you chose a different path in that moment. This is not meant to burden you, but to liberate you. For if the problem is within, the solution is too. In the modern world, where responsibility is often deflected onto systems, luck, or the actions of others, this principle can feel severe. But the Stoic sees it as the highest form of freedom. To own your soul is to own your destiny, regardless of the circumstances you inherit. So when you rise each day, say with conviction, "I alone am responsible for my soul." Let it remind you that no matter what comes, the final choice in how you live, act, and think will always be yours. And at the end of the day, when you measure your life, it is this responsibility, not your possessions, status, or victories, that will define whether you have lived well. The morning is the seed of the day. What you plant in those first quiet moments will grow into the thoughts, words, and actions that define the hours ahead. In this journey through 15 Stoic reminders, we have walked a path from the outer armor of patience and resilience to the inner core of self-responsibility and virtue. Each reminder is a thread, and together they weave a net strong enough to hold you when the day tries to pull you apart. Some threads prepare you for what the world will throw at you: difficult people, unexpected loss, the chaos of events beyond your control. Others anchor you in the truths that will not shift, no matter how turbulent the hours become. Your principles, your time, your gratitude, your soul. The Stoics understood that we do not stumble into a good day by accident, we prepare for it. Just as a soldier polishes his armor before battle, or a craftsman sharpens his tools before work, so must we prepare the mind before stepping into life. The world is not obliged to meet us with kindness, fairness, or order. And so we must bring those qualities ourselves, carrying them from the inside outward. To live this way is not to be cold or detached. The Stoic feels deeply, but he does not let those feelings make him a slave. He knows that joy, sorrow, love, and pain will visit him, but he will greet them all with the same steady awareness. You are here for a while, but you do not command me. The discipline of repeating these reminders each morning is not about superstition or ritual for its own sake. It is about recentering, about returning the mind to the truths that are so easy to forget in the noise of the world. Without them, you will be pulled into distraction, tempted by desires that weaken you, frightened by fears that do not deserve your surrender. Consider the first hours of the day as a gate. On one side is the stillness before the world awakens, on the other, the unpredictable rush of life. These reminders are the keys that open the gate without letting chaos flood in. You step through prepared, not because you know exactly what will happen, but because you know exactly how you will meet it. Preparation does not make life easier. The storms will still come, the winds will still rise, people will still act unjustly, events will still defy your plans, and losses will still arrive uninvited. But preparation changes you. It builds in you a kind of inner ballast, so that even when the waves rise high, you do not capsize. This is the true promise of Stoicism. Not that it will spare you pain, but that it will teach you how to endure it without breaking and how to find meaning within it. When you live by these reminders, you slowly untangle your happiness from the fragile threads of circumstance. You learn to root it instead in the deeper soil of virtue, self-control, and clear perception. Think back to the reminders themselves. The day will bring difficult people, this you know, but you will meet them with patience. The day is not owed to you, this you accept, and so you treat it as a gift. You cannot control the world, this you understand, and so you control your mind. Obstacles will appear, you will use them as teachers, opinions will swirl, you will measure yourself by your actions. Loss is possible at any moment, you will love without clinging. Time is finite, you will guard it. Desire and fear will pull at you, you will not be ruled by them. Words will tempt you, you will speak less and listen more. Moods will shift, you will act from principle. The uncontrollable will try to consume you, you will not give it your energy. Discomfort will arise, you will face it willingly. Life is not promised, you will live today fully. Gratitude will be your starting point, and above all, you alone are responsible for your soul. Each of these is simple to say, but hard to live. That is why they must be repeated. A single morning's resolve will not carry you for a lifetime, just as a single meal will not sustain you forever. You must return to the table each day, feeding your mind with what is nourishing, reminding yourself of the truths that protect you from the hunger of despair, anger, or vanity. And yet, as the days stack upon each other, you will notice something. The reminders will begin to live in you. At first, you will have to call them to mind consciously. Later, they will arrive unbidden in the moment they are needed. When frustration rises, you will hear the quiet echo, "I cannot control them, only myself." When fear whispers, you will remember, "I will not be ruled by desire or fear." When loss strikes, you will feel the ground of this truth. "I was prepared to lose everything external." In time, the practice becomes less about remembering the words and more about embodying them. The goal is not to be able to recite all 15 in order. The goal is to live them without needing to think of them at all. And so, as you stand at the end of this reflection and prepare for the day ahead, or for tomorrow's dawn, remember that Stoicism is not a theory to be admired from a distance. It is a discipline to be lived, moment by moment, choice by choice. These reminders are your starting point, but your life is the proof of them. You will not live them perfectly. No one does. The Stoics themselves admitted their failures. But each day gives you a new chance to return to the path, to take up the reminders again, and to let them shape the person you are becoming. When the night comes, you will look back not with the false comfort of an easy day, but with the quiet pride of having met the day on your terms. And when the morning comes again, you will begin anew, 15 truths in hand, ready to walk once more into the unpredictable world with the unshakable peace of one who knows that while much can be taken, the soul remains yours alone to guard.